So, a South Dakota lawmaker says that businesses should be able to turn away people of color. And this right here is by an Eric Skelton. And now I read the first article that had this, but they have a new article where the guy apologized. The lawmaker eventually apologized, but I'm going to read this article here. This was before the apology. South Dakota lawmaker says businesses should be able to turn away people of color. And I'm going to say where this is coming from. It's coming from that whole court ordeal with the same-sex couple, where the baker turned away the same-sex couple. So this is why people of color need to be careful about trying to call themselves discriminating people who are gay. Because if you start on that rampage, it could very well flip-flop and turn around back on you. It's counterproductive. And that's the way I'm going to put it. But apparently there's a state lawmaker in South Dakota who thinks it's okay in 2018 for businesses to refuse service to customers based on the color of their skin. So Michael Clark, a Republican member of South Dakota House of Representatives, made a series of controversial comments in a since deleted Facebook post. So shortly after, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a Colorado baker who refused to make a wedding cake for the same-sex couple because of his religious objections. Clark wrote that the ruling was a win for freedom of speech and freedom of religion also. So Black people who are going around hating on gay people, stop it. Because it could turn back around on you. It could be extremely counterproductive. This is why I've been saying that we don't have no business discriminating people for who they choose to have a union with. Because all of what has happened in history of all people, we should not be opening our mouth to say anything against people like that, because it could very well turn on you. So one of Clark's followers questioned his endorsement of the decision and asked if he decided he didn't want to do a wedding cake because the couple is Black. You would support that as well, would you? So that's a question. So it is his business, Clark replied. He should have the opportunity to run his business the way he wants. And if he wants to turn away people of color, then that's his choice. That sounds like Jim Crow to me, revisited in 2018. So Clark received immediate backlash for his comments. Of course, he had posted this on Facebook, but he had since taken them down, of course. So the article goes on to say that as South Dakota residents pointed out that the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibited discrimination based on race, color, religion, and sex, or national origin. Clark reportedly deleted the post on Tuesday and admitted that he had jumped in on it a little bit too fast. So in a follow-up interview with the local Argus Leader newspaper, Clark then defended his thought process. If it's truly his strongly based belief, he should be able to turn them away, he said. People shouldn't be able to use their minority status to bully a business. Then, as negative feedback to his comments mounted, he issued a written apology that read, "I am apologizing for some of my Facebook comments. I would never advocate discriminating against people based on the color of their or color of their skin or their race." The Argus Leader points out that Clark has already filed petitions to run for re-election in November. Now listen to this, people. He's running for re-election in November. and he doesn't face a primary challenger. So he doesn't have nobody to face. So he's probably going to win that spot. So if he's talking all of that and put that on Facebook, that's somebody, whoever, wherever your city or wherever you come from, South Dakota lawmaker, if he's got that spot and that's the way he pointed out and that's his feelings, watch out. So a Democratic candidate, Tony Miller, says he doesn't understand the rights of people he represented. So he is not qualified for the office that he holds. But he might just get it. And so he took down the post, but what he really feels on the inside came out before he took down the post. So this is the title up here. So Black folks, be careful about what you wish for, because it could very well turn around on you. Now, I have never advocated for discriminating people based on who they decide to marry. If I have a difference of opinion or I don't live a particular way and they live a particular way, I don't outright say slurs or be mean or force my opinions on somebody like that because they choose to marry that person. If I disagree with it, then that's my personal opinion. I look at it like this. I'm not going to the wedding. If I was the cake maker, I would have said, well, I'm not going to the wedding. I'm not participating in it. Just don't tell me about it. Here's your cake. Bye. It's business is business. But he did what he did. It is what it is. And so I just feel like people need to just really relax, because you're going to mess around and you're going to say too much and do too much. And then it'll be Jim Crow all over again. So instead of working against yourselves, just leave that alone. The fights we need to be fighting about as people of color need to be things like, school, treating our kids better, getting our kids better education, better housing, things like that. Not being discriminated on jobs, stuff like that. But, getting too personal and with who's sleeping with whom and all of that. Hey, these are consenting adults. What you do in your house is your business, as long as it ain't involving me, as long as it's not harming children, that's the way I look at it. So with that being said, this is the article. It came from out of, I'm looking here, Complex. And so this is why people need to be careful about what they say and what they're touting on these social media sites. I know that some people are thinking they're doing the right thing and all of this, but I've been saying this, that religion, it don't include you as people of color. It don't include you. It don't include you in the sense that when they first started that whole thing, it was really for people that were not of color. And so when they start doing this, you got these political people who, here you got a lawmaker, and he basically what he was saying in those posts is what his true feelings are. And so the only reason why he took it down is because of all of the people getting upset because he had posted it. And because of the position he's gonna be in a political seat. It says here he's up for re-election. He's running for it in November, and he don't have nobody challenging against him. So he could get picked. If he has these feelings, what's to say that other people don't have those feelings? And this guy right here, it says a Democratic candidate, Tony Miller, says that he doesn't understand the rights of the people he represents. So he's representing people of color, but he feels it's okay to turn them away. If this guy can win this case against the same-sex couple to turn them away based on religion, what other people could get turned away? See, all you people doing all that shouting and screaming at all these people trying to be discriminative, and it happened to you all these decades, all these years. And here you got somebody talking about, let's bring back, basically what he's saying, let's bring back Jim Crow. And some places are already doing it. From what I heard, if some schools were doing that, trying to do segregated schools all over again. Be careful what you wish for. That's all I say. Be careful what you wish for. You might put your foot in your mouth. Like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for listening.